I don't need no questions on how I get here. Just know it's like that. I'm like that. Alright? Alright. Excuse me?
This is the story of a man named
Named
Stanley.
Stanley.
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour. Not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions,
I'm friends
call a
with a
meeting,
that used to
or
be in
even
Diamond
say
Team, and
hi.
then he went and made
Never in
what's
all
it
his
called?
years at the
All-Star.
company had this happened.
You know All-Stars,
this
right?
complete isolation.
Yeah, Koa used to be on Diamond
Something
Team,
was
then he
very
started
clearly
All-Star.
wrong. Shocked,
Me and him was
frozen
trolling people
solid,
all night
Stanley
last night.
found
This shit was
himself
hella
unable to
funny.
move for the
He was
longest
the
time.
one car with the red fin.
But as he
that had
came to
Diamond
his
Team on
wits
it.
and regained his senses, he got up from his desk
And now he got
and
the
stepped out
nice
of his
ass
office.
thing V1 caddy. Oh, okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
B12.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Bro, why are they? They're making it the same way they used to.
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way. Stanley felt the bucket calling to him, begging him to pick it up. Why was he not doing it? Stanley picked up the bucket.
Zach! It should be near you, cuz. I didn't take it. Gotta be by you, blood. It's not near me. I just saw people on you first. Fuck, nigga. Donkacy. Shut up, nigga. All that coughing and shit. Coffee or gay? Ah! Cough or you like black niggas named Ramon? That's a Ramel. Shut up, you fucking cooner, you booner. I'm gonna put it in your butt. That nigga said 80 to 100 just for the reprogramming. Is that tax?
What?
He said 80 to 100 for the programming.
80 to 100 for the programming?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Never mind.
I'm finna ask Max. I'm calling him. Hey, you said the good price is 80 to 100, right, for reprogramming? Alex, that's what Alex told me. He said 80 to 100. Yeah, he said he'll reprogram it for 80 to 100, but he said it'll cost more if he has to make a new key.
If he has to make a new key,
Yeah.
so it'll be cheaper if you don't have to make a new key. That's fine. Then you're not gonna need a new key.
I was planning on getting another one anyways because you should always have two keys.
Just spend that and have two.
Because this one doesn't open up my glove department.
Alright. Well, I can tell him to do it and for surely do it. I just texted him. I was like, hey, I'm gonna text you. And he said, yeah.
Yeah, he said he'll either do it today or tomorrow when it cools down.
Alright, so what do you want me to tell him?
I just need to go pick up my check so I can go cash it out and for surely have the money for him.
So when? Tomorrow?
Probably later when it cools down, probably for him. So like in a couple hours.
Alright, so just tell him when, but don't flake on him.
Oh, I'm not gonna flake.
Alright, that's good.
Alright, it's good.
Alright.
Okay, now it's time to call Elijah and see if he wants to be a dom. If he's gonna be a baby brother. Yeah, be a baby brother. Oh yeah, I got doing a lot of texting today. hockey team getting beat up. They're like, hockey team up, right? Look at, watch, his dad. That nigga got shocked on. Did they drop the Addy yet? The wait is over. They drop soon. Bro, they're just stroking me with this Addy shit. We're going to it, Zach. The day it drops, Addy, we're setting that day off to get the day off for work. Mando. It's for surely gonna be the second weekend of October the way they're doing it. That nigga got sucked on. I had Eddie rolling last night while you were asleep.
Eddie?
Yeah, he sent me a photo of your second channel.
Bruh. Bro, that nigga's a bitch for that, bro.
Nah, it's because I had to put that first one, see what I did to him.
So he had to get me fucked up, nigga?
Nah, he just sent the photo of the YouTube photo, like the profile picture.
Yeah.
Nigga, that shit was comical. I was like, I sent this photo of this nigga Eddie, I was like, I'm crying.
Oh, that's from my channel?
Yeah.
Nigga.
And then I said Mr. Little Savage, he said, huh, with a laughing face and like the eyebrow up emoji.
Mm-hmm.
I said, let me cook.
Let me cook.
I said this with Little Savage basketball. Bro, he was like, nigga, I remember that day vividly.
He said that?
Yeah. He said, I remember that shit to this day. And then he was like, we're supposed to do it tomorrow. Or probably later tonight once he's off work. And you're off work.
Good.
Hopefully my shit will be fixed by then. Or he hopefully drives and just can slide on us. One of the two. Unless you don't want him to know where we at.
I don't give a fuck. I'm not gonna bring shit to my house.
I'm already knowing. He said the last time y'all talked is I think when his grandma had cancer. I was like, I don't know, but all three of us, I was like, bro,
When his grandma died.
I was like, I hope, you know, bro, it's all nothing but love from both of us, bro. We all need to get together and do something sometime. He was like, nah, for real though. How do you know?
Cause I already saw it.
We out to Modesto.
Yeah.
I don't work Friday too.
Oh shit.
Wow, my nigga Cool Yogi, that's crazy.
Ooh.
He just some nigga that's in the sideshow group chat. I'm finna ask Tamia if she could take me to go pick up my check. Yo, yo. What you doing? What's he talking about on live? I was gonna ask you if you wanted to smoke and if you could take me to my job so I could, if you want food, one, I can get you some food, and two, to pick up my check. Uh, we on Easter. Yeah, I'll just take it to the I'll just, nah, yeah, I take it to the that liquor store right across the street from Foster Freeze. Mhm. That's fine with me, cause I need to fucking someone has said he'll reprogram my key for 80 to 100. 80 to 100, yeah. No, family. He said like 80 to 100 bucks, and he says if he has to make another key, it's gonna cost me a little bit more, which is probably like two, three. Which I mean, a mobilizer. You to reprogram it. Probably just to not give me a new key, but to like, yeah, this key, because he said this is the original key. So I mean, I'm doing it. I'm doing it. something about my key. We have a code reader.
Okay. You say, what is the code?
See if I can find a piece of fucking paper. Grab this.
Hello?
Hey, Zachary.
Uh-huh.
So everything from starting from your door, so everything outside your door, everything outside your door, one
fucking scanner shit's ass. Cause that's both of my cousins tell me it's something to do with my fucking ECU or the fucking scanner.
Huh?
They're saying it's something about the ECU or he needs to clean his scanner or some shit. I have no idea. Bro, it's still talking about the same shit.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd find answers. Oh, Stanley, can you feel it? The broom closet. It wants the bucket. You can feel that, can't you? The aura of jealousy? It's as clear as day. This broom closet believes it deserves the bucket. I can really feel it now. Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket. Even now, in his darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth and guiding light pierce the dark clouds of confusion and chaos. It would be with him always. The bucket would, and he knew it. The two of them were inseparable. At this point, Stanley was so absorbed in the tender spiritual connection he shared with the bucket that he didn't notice the keypad behind the boss's desk. Nor in his bliss of simply being near the bucket did he have any notion that the PIN number for the keypad. But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation. The elevator raced downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate. It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket. soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine.
Bro, they need to hurry up and drop the fucking Addy.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves.
Brother, I was wondering this. Well, now you're busy. That it sounds like I was gonna ask if you could take me to go pick up my check, and if you knew anybody that could reprogram or a fucking mechanic that can help me out with my car.
The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears as Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring it that everything would be fine.
It's like, I don't know how it, like...
Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well? Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place? These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind. No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control, never! He squeezed the bucket tighter. His one friend in the entire world. At this point, he could trust no one except for the bucket.
I'll go over there.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he and the bucket would dismantle the controls for good. Two best friends, Stanley and the bucket, up against the world. They high-fived in a really cool way. Stanley and the bucket waited in blackness. Was it over? Yes, they had done it. Stanley and the bucket had defeated their greatest and darkest enemy, freed themselves from the tyrannical grip of the evil mind control machine. Freedom was now mere moments away. Excitedly, the two of them began to discuss the kind of life they wanted to live once they stepped through this massive door. The bucket wanted to learn to roller skate. Stanley wanted to sneeze in every country on Earth. Both of them wanted to begin watching a movie, any movie, but then stop it halfway through and begin watching it in reverse from the end. True, it was a simple life they envisioned, but it was one they'd lived together, with one another to lean on, to trust, to support. What? Wait. What was happening? Why had the door stopped? Was Stanley and the bucket not about to be freed? An unbearable silence filled the room, lingering in uncertainty. until finally the truth hit
Valley
Stanley
to
square
the
in the
Bay
face.
clothing.
This building did
Tracy
not
Liquor.
want the bucket to leave.
Yeah.
Even the facility itself recognized the incredible calming presence of the bucket, needed the soothing warmth of the bucket, would go to any lengths not to part with the bucket. No. Stanley can't leave this place, not while he has such a precious bucket in his arms, not while this building has anything to say about it. Stanley realized he would never again leave this very room, but at least he has the bucket. To be trapped eternally in darkness isn't really so bad, Stanley thought to himself. As long as I have my bucket with me, right? I'll be okay, won't I? Stanley gulped. Very soon now, he was about to find out. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Stanley lifted the bucket into his arms, and a wave of comfort rushed over him. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd find answers. Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket. Even now, in his darkest of hours, but Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation. Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility.